And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. Okay? So Abel, as Jacob was, as David was, as Peter was, as Moses was, okay? And this can all be taken spiritual as well, was a keeper of the sheep. Okay, the one who the priesthood through Adam was passed down to in righteousness. Okay, he was a keeper of the sheep, just as Jacob. And you have to understand as well that, they were born into many riches. Okay, so they were very busy. They weren't idle. They weren't sitting, in front of the TV, all goddamn day. Okay, they were born into some serious substance. All right, now we only know of Cain, Abel, all right, which we don't know how far apart they were born, and then we know of Seth. But to show you this real quick, Adam had many children. Okay, when you get Genesis 5, and let's see here, and 4, in the days of Adam, after he had begotten Seth, were 800 years, and he begot sons and daughters. So Adam had more sons, and he also had daughters that we don't know about. Okay, the Bible is just giving you, all right, particular key players within the story so that you can tie things together in the spirit. So, verse 3, in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the garden or the ground an offering unto the Lord. You see, now we know, according to the history of the chosen lineage, okay, when it comes to offering, okay, the Lord requires blood. Okay, he requires an animal sacrifice, which that's what Adam passed down, okay, to Abel. But Cain did not follow the instruction. Here it is. Clearly, the sons of God leading all the way up, to Moses and Aaron. Okay, the animal sacrifice was always required. Noah. Okay, many of the sons of God who were in his good graces offered up sacrifice. They offered up, the firstlings of their flock. But here it is. Abel brings a left-hand offering, something that the Heavenly Father does not require. You see? And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and the fat thereof. All right. And we can go into various scriptures where the Lord requires that fat to be burned and sacrificed on the altar. Okay. Exodus 13:12, and that thou shalt set apart unto the Lord all that openeth the matrix cometh out of the womb, every firstling that cometh of the beast which thou hast, the male shall be the Lord's. Okay, and you can keep reading. All right. Proverbs 3:9, honor Yahweh with thy substance, and with the first fruits all thine increase. Okay, Leviticus 3:16, and the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire for a sweet savor. All the fat is Yahweh's. He wants that. And Jake, over the years started to keep that because, the meat surrounding that fat is more flavorful. See, but you're supposed to give that to the Lord. Okay, it shall be a perpetual statute for your generation throughout your generations that ye eat neither fat nor blood. So you are supposed to give that to the Lord. You see? And you can keep reading. Okay. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they all offered up offerings unto the Lord. Okay. David. Okay. He offered the right sacrifice. Solomon. Okay. Hebrews 11:4. By faith, Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained a witness that he was righteous, God testifying of his gifts, and by it, yet being dead, he speaketh. So there you go. All right. The scriptures say the offering of the wicked, I believe. Let's get that real quick. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord. Okay. And see, here it is right now. They're calling themselves the Jews or the chosen people. But look at the offering that they're offering. It has nothing to do with what the Lord told the true Israelites to do. Okay. Proverbs 21:27, the sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. How much more when he bringeth it with a wicked mind? And that's what Cain did. Okay. He pretty much was disobedient and went about things the way he wanted to go about it, which is the same thing that Esau is doing today. All right. And really what condemns him is that he's doing all of this under the guise that he is the chosen of the God of the Bible. You see? So Abel's sacrifice was more righteous than Cain's. Okay? And you have to understand Adam was the first king and priest of the earth. Okay? He was a king and a priest. Okay? He was a keeper, all right, of the garden. Okay? Which pretty much, when you look up that word keeper, let's get it real quick. When you look up the word real quick, just to get it. Here you go. Genesis 2:15, and the Lord God took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress and keep it. And when you look up this word dress and keep, it goes into exactly the same words used for what the priest did in the temple. Okay, so the garden east in Eden, which Eden was paradise, was a temple itself. Okay, and Adam, all right, was the priest over it. So he's given him children, all right, to pass down that priesthood, that legacy. But out of him came what? Both righteous and wicked, if you can receive it for the purpose of the story. And we'll keep going. So verse 4, and Abel, he also brought the firstlings of his flock, which is required as we go into the history, the law, okay, and of the fat thereof, and the Lord had respect unto Abel and his offering. See? Which we know without blood, all right, there is no remission. All right. But unto Cain and unto his offering he had no respect, and Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. All right, he's like, I'm the firstborn. Okay, I'm this, I'm that. All right, why in the hell do you have respect to his sacrifice more than mine's? Look what I did. Me, me, me. But at the same time, you're being disobedient to the order and the traditions of the family. Okay? It says, and the Lord said unto Cain, why are you wroth? Why are you mad? And why is thy countenance fallen? See? And the Lord was dealing through Adam. Okay? It says, if thou doest well, shall not thou not be accepted? If you do what's right, would not you be accepted? If you offer up the right sacrifice, would you be mad right now? Okay, and that goes to you Edomites. Here it is, you're pissed off and mad because you're being called out, but look what you're doing. And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. See? Sin, which sin leads to death. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. This is why in the book of 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, he's called the man of sin. Okay? That spirit of sin and rebellion is tied unto him. Okay, to know what to do and purposely not do it, and then boast in it. Now, clearly, he could have repented when he was called out or addressed, but what did he do? He's doing his own thing. You got Jake with this spirit. Okay, and Cain talked with his brother Abel. Okay, and you got to understand this covers a large period of time. But Moses, who wrote the first 5 books, he's given us, all right, an abridged version of everything he got. So you have to be able to apply everything in spirit. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother, which Abel, when you look it up, Salakia, Abel, all right, get the meaning of Abel, breath, all right, or transitory, all right, meaning he was here 1 minute and gone the next, okay. Habal, vapor, breath, okay. Let's see what the root word of this is. Habal, to become utterly vain, filled with vain hopes. See here. It means basically transitory. Here 1 minute and gone the next. Breath. Okay. Habal. Okay. Which, real quick, let's get the book of Job 9. Okay. Job 9. In 24, it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Now my days are swifter than the post. They flee away. They see no good. They are passed away as the swift ships, as the eagle that hasted to the prey. All right. Because why? The wicked is in rulership. Okay. He covered, all right, up the, the true images of the saints, the Messiah, and put his images. And he covered up true judgment and put a wicked system of injustice in the earth. Okay, but what happens now? Our days are swifter than the post. They flee away. They see no good. Okay, because what did Cain do to Abel? He slew him. Okay, so like when you go into scary movies, it's always Jake that dies first. At least the older ones. Okay, you would see a Jake, and he would just have a small part in the movie. Well, that was Abel. Okay, but his position holds a lot of weight. Okay, as the priesthood was passed down in righteousness through him. But then you have to understand there's a left-hand priesthood predicated upon evil and wicked sacrifices that are not commanded by the Lord. All right. But through sin, the man of sin, Satan. All right. So Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and he was shooting the shit, just talking, probably trying to convince him that his sacrifice is better, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. Okay, he rose up against him and slew him. Okay, he was jealous because he figured, I'm the firstborn, I should be accepted by the Lord. And so instead of him doing what was right, okay, he chose to slay his own brother. Okay, now this is the book of 1 John 3 and 11. For this is the message that ye have heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one. Okay, there was a wicked spirit tied to him for the purpose of the wicked being established in the earth, and slew his brother. And why did he slay him? Because his own works were evil and his brother's righteous. Okay, let's get the scripture as well in the book of Jude. All right, because you got Jake who's in this spirit. Okay, when they see the Lord is dealing, all right, with particular men, okay, they'll go in the spirit of Cain, natural brute beast. This is Jude verse 11. Woe unto them, for they have gone in the way of Cain and ran greedily after the error of Balaam. Okay, because they're rejected. Okay, what they'll do is ultimately make you the enemy. Okay, and start casting stumbling blocks. All right, to ultimately cut the righteous path off, man, and set up their own path and become what? They have the spirit of murderers, but they hide it behind the fact that their sacrifice is the better one. Okay, when they see the men of the Lord getting praise, okay, they get that Cain-like spirit in them because they get rejected of the Lord. Okay, what they do is, as we'll show you, they try to make themselves the victim to justify their assault and attack. Okay, so the spirit of Cain is not the spirit any of us should be in. Okay, he slew his brother because his sacrifice was rejected. Okay, and the scripture says that we should strive lawfully, meaning we have to play by the rules. We can't create our own sacrifice. We can't create our own vengeance. See, and that's the spirit of Esau, Edom, and to this day. As a matter of fact, when you get Genesis 27, okay, let me just get to the point. Genesis 27 and 41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of the mourning of my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. All right. And remember, the blessing that Esau received, all right, was that he would live by the sword. Okay. And he would eventually serve Jacob. And that was under David. Okay. And during the Renaissance, during the Byzantine Empire. But he broke and eventually had the dominion. But Esau was blessed with the sword, and at one point in the future, he would have the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. That's his blessing. And by thy sword shall thy live, showing you his birth brought back the energy of Cain, which we'll get that in just a minute. So going back to Genesis, the fourth chapter, okay, Cain slew his brother Abel, man. Okay. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? What kind of mess is that? This is a demon. Yes, you're supposed to be your brother's keeper. Okay. See what this says in another version. NLT says, afterward, the Lord asked Cain, where is your brother? Where is Abel? I don't know, Cain responded. Am I my brother's guardian? Well, you're supposed to have your brother's back. Okay? This is a wicked man. And as we're going to show you, he has a wicked legacy that he left in the earth through his lineage. And he said, what hast thou done? All right? What did you do? Okay? Let's see here. It says, the voice of thy brother's blood cried unto me from the ground. Okay? Because Cain most likely slew him and hid the body. You know how Esau does. He's a demon. Okay? And you have to understand, by him doing this, if the Lord didn't raise up Seth as he does at the very end of this chapter, the righteous are cut off. Cain tried to root the righteous out of the earth so that his sacrifice could be the only sacrifice and he could be accepted of the Lord. And he's trying to do the same thing in this time via the drugs and everything else he's put out there. But guess what? A remnant has been raised up. Our hand, all right, Jacob's hand is on Esau's heel, okay? So right here it says, and now are thou cursed from the earth. Okay, and when you get as a matter of fact, let's get Second Esdras, the 15th chapter. All right, and if you bored, hey, there's various other videos you can go to. Okay, we're getting into the scriptures. This is what the Bible is really all about. Second Esdras 15. Let's see here. And 8, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness. Okay, and this is why the prophets have been raised up, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore said the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, which Egypt, in a spiritual sense, is speaking of Babylon, a great America, which is ran by Esau, Edom. And as you can see, it says, the righteous blood, which life is in the blood, crieth unto him. And the souls of the just complain continually. Even in the spiritual realm, the elect who are under the altar are crying unto the Lord, saying, how long before you stop these devils and what they're doing on the planet Earth? See? And when we come onto the earth, we have the same mindset. So, let's see here. 1 second. It says, and he said, verse 10, and he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And he shed so much blood, man, up unto this day. Okay, especially of the Israelites. We went into Ezekiel 35 yesterday. You've perpetually shed the blood of the saints. See, but you haven't paid for anything as a nation yet. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which have opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. Okay, now are you cursed from the earth. Okay. And Esau is cursed from the earth. Okay, the earth fights against him. All right, and he fights against the earth, man. Okay, he can't stand in the earth. He can't stand in the sun. Okay, he can't see like we see. He can't hear like we hear. He can't jump like we jump. He can't dance like we dance. He can't cook like we cook. He can't make music as we make music. All right, we're superior, but he set up a system, all right, and used pseudoscience to present it otherwise. Esau is the cursed people of the earth, but that curse goes back to Cain. See, Cain was cursed from the earth, and now, as the scriptures say, the curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked. I believe that's Proverbs 3:33 or 3:31. Okay, because this curse eventually, this falls on Esau. As a matter of fact, Proverbs 3. Proverbs 3:33. The curse of Yahweh is in the house of the wicked, but he blessed the habitation of the just. See that? So now art thou cursed from the earth. Okay, meaning ultimately, although eventually you're going to be blessed to rule it, the earth, as you read verse 12, when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. Okay, when you work and have control of the earth is not going to yield forth her strength. And we can see that through this very system, which is why he has to create, all right, genetically modified mosquitoes, bumblebees. Everything's artificial because he's destroying the earth. The earth is not yielding forth her strength while he's in rulership. He set up death, whereas the earth was created to just bring forth what? Life. Okay, which goes into the book of Isaiah, the 24th chapter, tied to his rebellion. See? And Cain's sin has pretty much compassed the earth. All right? Although there's still beauty in the earth. All right? You just wait till the sons of God get control of this earth. This is Isaiah 24:5. The earth is also defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws. Cain, Esau changed the ordinance, created a artificial sacrifice, and broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. See, the curse have devoured the earth now. Okay? And this is ultimately the curse that fell on Cain. All right? But eventually we know the family line of Cain were drowned in the flood. So that spirit returned, all right, in Genesis, the 25th chapter, all right, which we'll jump to, and you have Jacob and Esau. Now, it says, when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. Okay, so the earth is against you, and you are against the earth. You ain't right. The good favor of the Lord ain't on you. A fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth. And he's a fugitive. Let's look up this word fugitive. Okay. A fugitive, okay, is running all over the earth. All right. And the why? To quiver, totter, shake, stagger, wander, move, sift, move, waver, tremble, stagger. All right, because he's wandering all over the earth. He's the wandering fugitive. Now, when you go to the blessing given to Esau, Genesis 27:40, and by thy sword shall thou live, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And that happened at the time of David, and it happened at the time when he came with the Renaissance, when he came out of the caves, as Jake was ruling in the Byzantine Empire. Okay, but it says you shall have the dominion. And when you look up this word dominion, I mean, 1 second, it's rawad, to wander restlessly, to roam, to be restless. He's all over the earth, roaming everywhere. And he's a fugitive, meaning he's on the run for a crime he committed, but he hasn't paid for it yet. Okay? He hasn't paid for his crime. So what is he doing? He's on the run. Okay? He's a fugitive, like K Solo, if y'all remember that. Okay? A fugitive. Now, when you look up this word fugitive, let's just look it up in this sense. Nah, what we'll do is go about it this way. Give me 1 second. Okay, so you're a fugitive. A fugitive and a vagabond. The word fugitive means a person who has escaped from a place or is in hiding. See, and he was able to hide himself via, hiding under these different names. Okay, but in the latter days, he was going to be exposed. He's reserved unto the day of judgment. I have made Esau bare. He shall not be able to hide himself, especially to avoid arrest or persecution, which now we're living in a time where he's finally being persecuted and called out. A renegade, a runaway. He's all over the planet Earth with that sword, okay, running from his destiny. And he's even trying to set up a new world order to where he can write his victory into the story and erase his judgment, like Nimrod tried to do. So a fugitive and a vagabond, okay, the word vagabond, I think it's pretty much, hold up, I don't know why. Yep, to move to and fro. And the scriptures say in the book of Habakkuk, he neither keepeth at home. He is a proud man. He's everywhere. Okay? Wonder. He's the wandering fugitive. Okay? Let's look up vagabond in this sense real quick. Vagabond. A person who wanders from place to place without a home or a job. All right. And he's got all of this ill-gotten gain. He's raped, robbed, pillaged, murdered. All right. But he's wandered throughout the four corners of the earth. All right. Let's get the book of Revelation, the 20th chapter. That old serpent, the seed of Satan. Revelation, the 20th chapter. Okay. When he shall get the dominion. Revelation 20:7. And when 1,000 years are expired after the Byzantine Empire, where the Western Roman Empire fell for a period of 1,000 years, there was a Renaissance period, the rebirth of Esau, Edom, which it says in Malachi, we will return and build the desolate places. See, this all ties to Cain. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Now we know in 2 Thessalonians, there's a nation, a man, okay, a seed line of people, the Edomites, who come to do the will and bidding of Satan and lie about every goddamn thing, destroy, pillage, deceive. This is what the Heavenly Father set them up to do. This is his sword in possession to do the bidding of evil in the earth, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. So in order to get to the four quarters of the earth, you would have to wander. And that will lead to Gog and Magog to gather them together for battle. Then he's going to eventually come after the saints. So going back here, Genesis 4, okay, and 12. And when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. Okay, a fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth. Okay, let's see here. It says, and Cain said unto the Lord Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I can bear. All right. Well, this is what the works of sin lead to. Okay. And even in that, you got a blessing to rule. All right. Because the legacy of the wicked will be ended. All right. Through this spirit ruling through Esau. It says, behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, meaning you ain't dealing with me. Okay. I'm not in your good graces. All right. And that's something he has to, he knows it, but he still forces his superiority, but he knows he really ain't got it. Okay. So he has all of this wealth and his sword. Okay. And he's able to put on this front like he's the man. Okay. And from thy face shall I be hid. So you separated me from the good graces. Okay. And you hid your face from me. All right. Meaning you ain't with me. See, this is a base man. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. Okay. And Esau knows he's guilty. Cain knew he was guilty. But as you're going to read, he never stopped. And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. So if you try to avenge yourself against Cain, all right, vengeance is going to be taken on you sevenfold. All right, meaning you can't take up your own judgment on him. You got to wait on vengeance from the Lord. Remember, vengeance is the Lord's. You see? And that has followed him today. You can't go and you go and try to take out one of these rulers and say, they're wicked. And I did this. You go and take out one of the red shield people, and I did this because I'm angry at their atrocities and the wickedness they've done to my people. Well, they're gonna take you somewhere and torture you and take your spirit out. Okay, and then go after your family. Okay, you be through. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any man finding him should kill him. And ultimately, that's the mark of leprosy. He took his pigment away. Okay, this is why when Esau was born, okay, let's go to Genesis 25. Okay, all right, where Isaac and Rebekah are having twins. All right, but as you can see here in verse 25, and the children struggled together within her, because remember, this is Cain and Abel reincarnated, fighting in the womb. Okay? When you go to Genesis, the 25th chapter. Okay? Because Abraham was given a blessing. Okay? He passed it down to Isaac. Okay? And then Isaac have these twins, and who did the blessing go to? Jacob, who had 12 sons. However, Esau got a blessing as well, which is very important in biblical prophecy. See, the kingdom would come through Esau's fall, not Japhet. Okay? Japhet ain't ruling right now. Japhet ruled as the Medes, but we never really had a struggle with Japhet like that. The true struggle between the nation of Israel and their real arch enemy would be the Edomites. Let's read this in the NLT. But when the two children struggled with each other in the womb, so they're in the womb fighting. Showing you this is a highly spiritual story. So she went and asked the Lord about it. Why is this happening to me? So the children were fighting in the womb. You get off me. Trying to choke. Esau tried to choke Jacob with the umbilical cord. It says the baby jostled each other. Let's look up this word, jostled. Okay? So she was having a lot of friction in her womb to push, elbow, bump against, roughly. See? They were in a womb fighting. Why is that? Because those two spirits from the time of Cain and Abel, okay, years on down the line after the flood, where Noah survived, okay, and had Noah and his 3 children and all their wives, so 8 people, okay, and eventually, the nation started to spread on the planet Earth, and the chosen lineage would come through Noah's son Shem, who had Arphaxad, all the way down to, Selah, Eber, Peleg, Terah, who had Abraham. Okay? Abraham had Isaac. Isaac is having these twins. And again, both righteous and wicked come through him. Okay? Isaac. Laughter. And Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, is going to have the last laugh. So she went to inquire of the Lord, meaning she went to a prophet. Okay? And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. All right? 2 separate nations. Just like Cain and Abel were 2 separate nations, as we're going to show you, in 2 manner of people, they were separated from thy bowels. Now, Cain and Abel weren't twins, but as we'll show you, they were 2 separate nations, and they were 2 manner of people. But what happened is the chosen lineage, the sons of God, fell into the ways of the sons of Cain, which Esau today got Jake in that same reprobate, murderous spirit. But the water Yahweh Bashim Yahushai for a remnant who are likened unto Noah. Okay? So 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. One shall be stronger than the other. So all of this crap, all men are created equal, not here, not in the Bible. And the elder who came out first shall serve the younger. Esau is going to serve Jacob. Okay, what happened at the time of David was temporal, where the Edomites were his slaves and servants. Okay, but in the kingdom, you're going to really serve. Okay, and then your judgment is to be obliterated off of the earth, man. Okay, this is nations on the planet Earth. So 2 nations would be in our womb, 2 different nations. And you have Christians like Vocab Malone who still don't get that they're 2 nations. How are they 2 nations? They're twins. See, this book is for the spiritual, man. But here's the point. And when the days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her wombs, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau, Ishashwa, wasted away is he. Red is Edom. Okay. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold to Esau's heel. Now notice it only pretty much mentions the color of Esau. Okay. Esau was born as a clean leper with the mark of leprosy, meaning he didn't have pigment. He was red. Okay. His blood showed forth through his skin like an hairy garment. Now, he wasn't born with a whole bunch of hair, although he grew to be a hairy man. This is tied to, all right, as you see here, Exodus 35:23, and every man with whom was found blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen and goat's hair and red skins of rams, because they dyed these particular, all right, skins for particular purposes, man. And badger skin, Exodus 25:5, and ram skin dyed red, and badger skin. Okay, and you can go to Leviticus 13 to deal with the leprous and reddish ordeal. All right, but let's just get back to the story for the sake of time. Okay, so he was red all over like a hairy garment, and also too, I believe when you do the cross reference, Genesis 27:11, and Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. All right, which Esau, the caveman, he's known to have a lot of hair on his body. Now, you do have Israelites who have hair on their body as well. Okay, but Esau is known as the hairy cave beast. Okay, and as a matter of fact, let's get one scripture. All right, which secretly, brings about his judgment. Psalm 68:21, but God shall wound the head of his enemies, and the hairy scalp of such that goeth on still in his trespasses. The man of sin, Esau, Cain, tied to that hairy scalp. You see, as it says in the book of Habakkuk, all right, when the Most High returns, okay, he's going to do what? Let's get it. Habakkuk 3:13, thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people, even for the salvation of thine anointed. Thou woundest the head out of the house of the wicked by discovering the foundation unto the neck, Selah. Okay, the hairy scalp, okay, tied to you Edomites. Okay, so if you notice, it doesn't mention the color of Jacob. Okay, it mentions the color of Esau because that mark that was set up on Cain, all right, returned through Esau, which was the mark of leprosy. Now, as you read more about Cain and his family, we'll just read through this real quick. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord. The Lord wasn't with him. Okay. And from the land of Nod, meaning he ultimately went out, all right, to do his own thing, not to do the bidding of the Lord in righteousness. All right, that will be done through Seth, okay, and his son Enos, all right, which men began to call upon the name of the Lord, praise the Lord. That wasn't done through Cain and his family line, as we're going to read about them real quick. Okay, so Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod. See what Nod means real quick, just for the sake of knowing. Nawad. See if we can tie anything spiritual. Nawad, wandering. That same word. Okay? The wandering fugitive. Okay, so Cain dwelt in the land of Nod, all right, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife. Now, where did Cain get a wife if Adam and Eve were the only two people on the planet Earth? And she conceived and bare Enoch. Now, this is not the righteous Enoch that's associated with the sons of God. You got to notice this is a lineage. When you go to the very next chapter, okay, you're going to see a lineage, all right, through Seth. These are the sons of God. What we're reading in Genesis 4 is the sons of wicked. See, the Enoch here in Genesis, the 5th chapter, the one that was beamed up, who was begotten by Jared, okay, who had Methuselah, that's a different Enoch, all right, than this particular Enoch, which Enoch means learned man or dedicated. Okay, these niggas here were dedicated to evil. See, and that legacy continued through Esau being born. And there's a judgment tied to him. Okay, however, you couldn't do it yourself, because if you did, sevenfold judgment would be taken on you. You got to wait on the Lord. And that's what's happening in the earth right now. Okay? And Enoch, all right, begot Irad, and Irad begot Mahuel. Okay, so you got to understand, this is a nation being formed. Okay, the family line of Cain. Cain, Lamech had wives, Jabal, all right, and it's just pretty much telling you what they did. All right, Jabal, he was the father of such that dwell in tents and of such that have cattle. So they were doing their own thing. Okay, and his brother's name was Jubal, who was the father of such as handle harp and organ. We know Esau is heavily into music, but it's left-handed. Okay, is crazy music. That's why when you see particular Edomite artists who are good, you're prone to think that they're Jake. Okay, when you listen to Esau in his purest form, his music is trash. All right, that's not to say that a particular Edomite can't just make good music. Okay, but Esau overall is saltless and through. Okay, it says in Zillah she also bore Tubal Cain, which Tubal Cain, all right, Tawabal Kayan. Okay, that means what? Thou will be brought of Cain. All right, let's see here. Yep, Tawabal Kayan. All right, that will be brought of Cain. Now, when you look at what he did real quick, okay, it says, Zillah also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. Okay, so these are weapons. This is the first family line in the earth that brought forth weapons. Okay, to harm people. See? Before, we didn't need weapons. We were just to rule. Okay? We were only to know good. See? But this family line, okay, the seed of the serpent, okay, brought forth wickedness into the earth. Another way. All right? And to substantiate that, we're going to go to the Josephus and read this real quick. And this is going to show you everything that Esau is doing today. Cain did it in that time. Okay? You got to think, Enoch was beamed up. Okay? And when you read about Enoch, the righteous one, you got to understand Cain's family was in the earth at that time. At the time Noah was on the earth, Cain's family was in the earth at that time. Okay? Doing the same thing Esau's doing today. And our people, as they worship the beast and wandering after the beast in this day, they were doing the same thing with Cain. Following in his ways. Bowing to idols. Leaving off from the worship of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, which is a fulfillment, all right, in the spiritual sense of Eve eating the fruit, the church, okay, which Eve actually went off, but that was symbolic as well as of the church, the chosen lineage, fallen to the ways of the seed of the serpent, okay. So it says here, Adam, this is Josephus. Now, he's a historian who was a Jew in the Roman Empire. A lot of people call him a sellout. Some people said he did what he had to do. Now, everything he says we don't take for face value, but there is some good history, okay? And he is a verified historian, okay? Which he didn't deny Yahweh Shai, okay? He wrote about him and his followers, as did many Roman historians. But this was a Jew, all right, who I believe in a particular, at the time that the particular Jakes were rebelling against Esau, he was against it, and they called him a sellout. But he was a known historian, man. So he gives insight on Adam and Eve, all right, and wrote particular things down for history purposes. Adam and Eve had two sons. The elder of them was named Cain, which name was interpreted signifies a possession of a weapon by the Most High for the purpose of what? The story, prophecy. The younger was Abel, which signifies sorrow. They had also daughters, okay? Now the two brethren were pleased with different courses of life. For Abel, the younger, was a lover of righteousness and believing that God was present at all his actions. He excelled in virtue, and his employment was that of a shepherd. Okay? Same with David. Same with Peter. Okay? But Cain was not only very wicked in other respects, but was wholly intent upon getting. He first contrived to plow the ground, okay? He was intended upon getting. He slew his brother on the occasion of the following. They had resolved to sacrifice to God. Now Cain brought the fruits of the earth and of his husbandry, and Abel brought milk and the first fruits of his flock. But God was more delight with the later obligation or oblation, okay? When he was honored, showing you the priesthood goes all the way back to here. Okay? The Bible is giving you a story of the legacy of the sons of God. This is where it starts, on earth. All right? But really it started in the heavens. In the beginning, of Elohim created the heavens and the earth. We were supposed to come on earth and rule this under Adam, okay? But we fell, all right? And the Lord set Cain up to help aid in that process. It says, when he was honored with what grew naturally of its own accord, all right, when he was honored with what grew naturally of its own accord, then he was with the invention of a covetous man, okay, and gotten by forcing the ground. Whence it was that Cain was very angry that Abel was preferred by God before him, and he slew his brother and hid his dead body, thinking, all right, to escape discovery. But God, knowing what had been done, came to Cain and asked him what was done of his brother, because he had not seen him of many days. All right, let's see here. Who pressed him vehemently to show, yada, yada, yada. But in return, God convicted Cain, all right, as having been the murderer, the first thug, okay, was Cain and his family line. I wonder at thee that thou knowest not what has become of man who thyself has destroyed. All right. Now, keeps going there, but I'm going to jump to the second case. It says, and when Cain traveled other many countries, he with his wife built a city named Nod, which is a place so called, and there he settled his abode, where he had children. However, he did not accept of his punishment. Okay, he never repented. He was just mad and became vengeful and wicked and mad and created vengeance. And his family line was slaying the sons of God. Okay, but to increase his wickedness, for he only aimed to procure everything that was for his own bodily pleasure. And the word procure, okay, hungry, why wait? Their eyes stand out with fatness to obtain something, especially with care or effort. And he wants that birthright back. All right. It says, though it obliged him to be injurious to his neighbors. Who does that sound like? Okay. Injurious means harmful. And he had those weapons, the sword. He augmented his household substance with much wealth. Who does that sound like? Esau. All right. By rapine. All right. Let's look up rapine. And we look these words up because you should know the meaning of words. Okay. The violent seizure of someone's property. Okay. How did Esau get America? Okay. By what? Rapine. Okay. Stealing this land from the Native Americans. The doctrine of discovery and violence. He excited his acquaintance to procure pleasures and spoils by robbery. I mean, clearly this is describing Esau. Again, what does the scripture say? That which is then is now, in the book of Ecclesiastes, the first chapter. That which has been is now, all right? And that which is done has already been done. There's no new thing under the sun. Esau is Cain of today. Cain was Esau of his time. That's what chapter 4 is describing, okay? And remember, there was an order put out. You couldn't put hands on that guy. You couldn't judge that guy. He's reserved, all right, for this time, all right, in which Cain now rules Babylon the Great. And what is he doing with to you Israelites? He's used the sword to subdue you and all of the heathen round about. Okay? It says, by rapine and violence, he excited his acquaintance to produce or procure pleasures and spoils by robbery, and became a great leader of men into wicked courses. Okay? This is what Esau's doing today. Okay? The Satan was loosed out of his prison and went throughout the four corners, spreading all manner of evil. Okay? The red horse took peace from the earth. He also introduced a change in the way of simplicity wherein men lived before. Okay? He took away innocency. He took away family structure. He took away love amongst men and women, and created all of this wicked, demonic culture predicated upon idol worship. Okay? He took away the simplicity of life, and he's introduced all of this artificial way of living, and was the author of measures and weights. Okay? And you have the wicked elite bankers today who do this same thing. And whereas they live innocently and generously while they knew nothing of such arts, he changed the world into cunning craftiness. See, what does the scripture say? The serpent was more all right, subtile than any of the beasts of the field. Those were nations. Okay? And there's no more innocence. There's no more trust. Now everybody's mindset is set on self-destruct, destroying one another, lying. Okay? It's a wicked culture. He first of all set boundaries about lands, all right, stealing lands from people, and fortified it with walls. He compelled his family to come together and call that city Enoch, okay, after the name of his eldest son. All right, then it's going through his sons. Let's see here. You can read that. Tubal, children. Tubal Cain exceeded in strength and was very expert in martial performances. All right. But Tubal, we just read Tubal Cain. Tubal Cain, one of his children by the other wife, exceeded all men in strength in martial performances. Let's look up the word martial. Okay. Of appropriate to war, warlike. Let's get the book of Revelation 6. Okay. Let's get the book of Revelation 6. Okay. Revelation 6 and 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword, that weapon, Cain, that dagger, that spear, that sword that Esau was blessed with. Okay? And the family line of Cain did the same thing, man. Okay? It says he was famous in martial performances. He procured what tended to the pleasures of the body by that method. Hungry, why wait? Everything in this society is predicated upon, all right, obeying your lust, having what you want when you want it. Okay, not patience is gone out of the earth. Microwaves, fast food, the mindset of just taking, all right, and coveting something that somebody else has. And first of all, invented the art of making brass, okay? Weapons. Lamech was also the father of a daughter whose name was Naamah, all right? And because he was so skillful in the matters of divine revelation, okay? So he had basically there was a left-hand priesthood. Now, when you go to this article, okay, Rothschild's enemies of the people, all right? Now, Rothschild means red shield, okay? And if you don't know that, okay, just look up a Rothschild name meaning, okay? You got to ask yourself, why would the Lord put the spirit on them to give themselves this name? Because this is not their original name. Just get to the point. See? Red with sign or red shield. It means red shield. Okay? Boom. The surname is literally Red Shield, a German house name. Okay? And let's look at the family. Okay, that's them. This is that red man. This is Cain. Okay. See that eagle? These are the Edomites. Okay. The ones who run the banks. Okay. And as this article is going into, enemies of the people dictating the future. Cain's family line, all right, established the left-hand priesthood, all right, that got into dictating the future. Okay. It says, the last three grueling years have forced many of us to look harder at who is exactly pulling the strings. All right. Having taken a closer look at their history and activities, I had to share my findings with others, so I wrote an in-depth article as a 100-page PDF booklet, and I'll try to remember to put this in post-production. There is something of taboo around criticizing this powerful, ultra-rich family, and those who do so tend to find themselves labeled anti-Sem. See that? If you talk about this particular family, this is what you'll be labeled. Why? Because this is Amalek. The Lord said he would have war with Amalek from generation to generation. See? Amalek will be the first of the nations. Let's get that. Numbers 24 and 20. And when he looked upon Amalek, he took up this parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. Okay? Now, yeah, they were the first to attack us when we left out of Egypt. All right? But when you look up this, okay, because at the latter end, which is the end times, all right, Ra'ashath, first, beginning, best, chief, choice part. Okay, when you go to the root, Ra'ash, head, top, summit, chief, total, sum, front. Okay? Chief, head. They will be at the head of things. Okay? Opposing themselves above the Most High and the holy people, even in the temple of the Most High, all right, in the holy place, in Jerusalem. Family, priest, the left-hand priesthood. You see? Height. Okay? He's at the height of his power. So in the latter days, okay, at the latter end, as Esau is the end of the world, all right, he would eventually perish forever. Okay? Because he would do a lot of wickedness that would lead to his judgment. Okay? Now, going back to this article, all right, it says, however, as I explained in the booklet, I am not singling out this red shield family because they are Ish, but rather, in spite of that fact, okay, it would have been 1,000 times easier to have written about them if they had been one of Europe's many historical Roman Catholic or Protestant banking families. Nobody would have imagined for a moment that my criticisms applied to all or even most Catholics or Protestants. All right, which they try to walk around the earth like they're so damn innocent. The Catholic and Protestants, all right, they're tied to all of this evil, which Vocab Malone and his Calvinism stems from the Protestants. They rape, rob, pillage, murder. They're of the family of Cain. Okay? But these other dynasties have not played the same central role in creating all that is worst in our contemporary world. Shit. Yes, they have. They got their role. And so it was the many sins, the man of sin of the red shield, that I nevertheless obliged to focus on. Now, within this article, this is what he wrote, and there's audios to everything he's talking about. amassing great wealth, putting themselves before others, profiteering from war after war. All wars are bankers' wars, grabbing the infrastructure, exploiting humanity, destroying nature, corrupting political life, using royalty, privatizing power, imposing global control, keeping it all secret. See? They do all of this in secret, but we're living in a time where now it's all being brought to the forefront. And then shall that wicked be revealed. Let's get that real quick. Okay? Second Thessalonians 2:8. And then shall that wicked be revealed. All right? As the Lord said in the previous verse through Paul, all right, he will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed. Okay, apocalypto, revelation. See? Apocalypto, to uncover, to lay open what has been veiled, to cover up. The wicked was reserved till now to make manifest who he really is and why all of this is happening. Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. See? And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. Okay? So the truth would be spoken while he's doing all of his evil, but many of our people and the everybody else are going to be following after his lies in some shape, form, or fashion, which is not just a small lie. His deception and lying wonders, which is pseudos. This word lying wonders is pseudos. Okay, his pseudoscience goes deep. Okay, intentional falsehood, a lie. That's what runs this world. Deceitful precepts, impious, perverse. Okay, everything that we go into in these news and prophecies, that we go into the men of the Lord exposing is wicked. It's impious, not showing respect or reverence for a God. And that's what all of his science and everything he's bringing is based upon. You see? And this is what the family line of Cain did. See? But they were held as a secret. See? I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered. All right. How are the things of Esau searched out? Got to get that, right? Obadiah verse 6, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? See, and he the ability to operate in secrecy has got him thus far, okay? The hidden things, ma taza pa na yam, hidden treasure. All right, tazapan, to hide, to store up, okay? To hide from discovery. And he's done that through putting all of these different terms on himself. Even in the 1600s saying, I'm white. Using his science to say, this is the names of the nations. Okay? Let's get James, the 5th chapter. Let's see here. James 5:3, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as if it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. See? And now, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them who have reaped, the Israelites built this whole damn system. off of the backs of free labor. Okay? Now the cries of the Israelites have entered into the ears of the lords of Sabaoth. You have lived in pleasure on earth and have been wanton and have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. When he is about to fill his belly, sudden destruction is going to come upon him. When they say peace and safety, all right, which, you know, when you go to the theme of this whole agenda that they're bringing, it's all about peace and safety. They're literally saying that. Then sudden destruction is going to come upon them, man. Okay? And this ties to Job 21. Hide him from the wicked, which is thy sword. Wow. Their eyes stand out with fatness. All the precepts we brought out. All right? Psalm 17:3. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, from men which are thy hand, O Lord, of men of the world, which have their portion in this life. Their portion is in this life, because they were blessed with the blessing of the fatness of the earth to be the chief and rulers of this world. But Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. Okay? So, real quick, and I guess, you know, I'll get a few more points and wrap it up. Keeping it all secret. Okay? They were able to hide themselves, but now we're living in a time of their revealing. All right? Which marks their end. All right? They will be exposed before that judgment. Switching to authoritarian mode, dictating the future. All right? They're telling you now that everything they're doing is for the future. Okay? They're laying the groundworks for the future of their nation as rulers in a new world. Enough is enough. Okay? So, yeah, you just gonna have to read this article because it goes in. And I forgot, I brought a little bit out of this before. Okay, but you'll I'm gonna put it in the production and you'll see. And look at this logo here. It's a hand holding spears. Okay? Sticking through. See? That piercing serpent. Okay? That great red dragon. All right? Which red shield. Why would they put that name on themselves? The Lord allowed that. Okay? It says here, even while Adam was alive, it came to pass that the posterity of Cain became exceeding wicked, everyone successively dying one after another, more wicked than the former, and they were intolerable in war and vehement in robberies. And if any were slow to murder people, yet he was bold in his profligate behavior and acting unjustly and doing injuries for gain. So when he's not at war and destroying people, he's in the lab experimenting on how to destroy people, creating diseases and doing all manner of evil, manipulating the foods. Okay, that's what the family line of Cain did, which, going back to Genesis, the 4th chapter, okay, as you go through the family line of Cain, you know, you have Tubal Cain. He brought forth the weapons, Genesis 4:23. And Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. So what do you get from that? They were slaying the sons of God. And this was known as a song. It was singing about it. Now, when you read this, let's get this in the NLT. It says, one day Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, listen unto me, you wives of Lamech. I have killed a man who attacked me and a young man who wounded me. All right. And this is the mindset of Esau. He's blaming you and putting you out there as the one who attacked him to justify him killing you. And that's what he's trying to do right now. That's what he's setting up. You see? And he's bragging about, I've killed a man who attacked me. So they've always had an alt against the sons of God, man. Even creating you and putting you out there as the villain and as the one who's after him, so he can play the victim and then kill your ass. See? And Jake has that mindset. Jake has went into the way of Cain. They'll create these stories to make themselves victims because they're hurt. And then that justifies them just doing video after video after video on you, when they should have just repented. But what did they do? Because they were rejected, they went into the way of Cain. And then they try to create all of these narratives and make you to look like you're the wrong one. And he said, if Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. Okay, meaning if you can't touch Cain, then you definitely ain't gonna be able to touch me. So this is the mindset of these devils. Okay, they don't think that they're ever gonna be touched. I shall sit as a lady forever. If someone who kills Cain is punished 7 times, then the one who kills me will be punished 77 times, meaning you can't touch this. Okay? And that's the mindset of these Edomites. I'm gonna just have to do another part hitting points, that I didn't hit, because there's a whole bunch of other points, and this video is getting a little long. But this is Isaiah 47:10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. And this is speaking of the daughter of Babylon, which is ran by the Edomites. Okay. Ooh. Let's start at 8. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given unto pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am, and there is none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Like, you can't touch me. God is with me. Okay? Which, he's got your ass in those slippery places. But these 2 things shall come on thee in a moment, the loss of children, and one day widowhood, and they shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, and hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and knowledge it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and there is none else besides me. That's the mindset of you devils, man. You trusted in your wickedness. You trusted in your sword and your ability to lie and use your media to push false narratives. See? Psalms 52:7. Lo, this is the man that made not God his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches and strengthened himself in wickedness. Woe to them, Isaiah 29:15, that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in dark. And they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? See, now they're having to come out more boldly with their plans, and they're openly professing these things, calling on their gods to assist them in establishing this NWO. But pretty much after all of that, Adam knew his wife again, Genesis 4:25, and she bare a son named Seth. For God, she said, hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, who Cain slew. And Seth, to him there was born a son, and called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. Okay? So ultimately, this wasn't, after all of this time, eventually, all right, Seth was born. Okay? He was born, in one of these generations where Cain's family was still on the earth. But what differed from them and Cain is that then began men to call on the name of the Lord. The sons of God, okay, which this is a great history, okay, who were made in the image of God, where the priesthood was passed down, okay, ultimately were calling on the name of the Lord, preaching, prophesying, being priest, all right? But eventually, at the time of Noah, we see that they started to do evil and wicked, which led to the flood. And that's a whole nother history for a whole nother time. Okay, this is a lot of history, but it's just compacted into these chapters. So you have to be able to extract the spiritual aspect of it. Okay. Amos 1:11. For thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. And that's what you Edomites did. But I will send fire upon Teman, which shall devour the palaces of Basra, which is symbolic of America, man. So all of you heathen gonna pay, but you Edomites, oh boy, and when you're about to fill your belly, all right, sudden destruction is gonna come upon you. Okay? You can read Isaiah 34, Isaiah 63. Everything ties back to you Edomites. Okay? Jeremiah 49, 50, 51, Ezekiel 25. Okay? And 12, Ezekiel 25 and 12. Thus said the Lord God, because Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance. What did Cain do? He took vengeance, and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus said the Lord God, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and cut off man and beast from it. That's tied to the judgment of Babylon, and will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger. All right, when we get those new bodies, when we get spiritual power, and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord. So, I mean, there's so many scriptures that tie to the judgment of you Edomites, man. So, pretty much, man. Woo, so many scriptures, man. You Edomites are through, boy. And you think you're going to rewrite the story. Malachi 1 and 4, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return the Renaissance and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and a people against whom the Lord have wrath and indignation forever. All right, so we'll do another part at some point when the Spirit jumps on me to bring out other points and other links in the Spirit. Hopefully you all were edified. That's the purpose of these lessons. On to the next. Shalom.